please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
On to the other big story of the day, the NCLT verdict in the Tata Mistry case is out. The fine print shows that the tribunal has made some scathing observations against Cyrus Mistry. Now, the verdict says, and I quote, "It appears that Cyrus Mistry, because of heartburn due to being removed as executive chairman, tried to steamroller several business decisions upon Ratan Tata so as to bully him and the Tata sons," end quote. Arun Giri from Tax Sutra joins us with the details. Arun, take us through the highlights of the order.
It's a 368-page order, Shireen, and it's barely been, a half an hour since the order copy came out. We are trying our level best to go through it. I'm halfway through it. But as I think you rightly observed, it's a scathing order. If the first half of the order is anything to go by, they very clearly said that Cyrus Mistry filed this petition due to the heartburn of being removed as executive chairman. On each of the mismanagement charges, the NCLT has not just dismissed them, but has made very, very important observations, saying that these accusations of mismanagement are malified. For example, take the AirAsia decision. They are saying that the AirAsia decision was not a fait accompli upon Cyrus Mistry. They go on to say that all sorts of allegations regarding AirAsia transaction have been made with impunity by Cyrus Mistry, flouting all the legal principles. The NCLT further says Cyrus Mistry took active part in AirAsia incorporation, presided over a meeting to further fund it, and then say Cyrus Mistry and petitioners have gone ahead to make a scurrilous statement without a shred of paper that Mr. Tata funded one terrorist through Hawala with diversion of AirAsia funds, and even on allegations regarding the Nano project. They've gone into such detail. They've gone into every board, quite a few board meetings, the letters written, and then go on to say that the allegations made regarding Nano project is without making Tata Motors a party to the case. Almost all the suggestions on the Nano project from Mr. Ratan Tata have come on being solicited from him. The petitioners, that is the Cyrus Mistry group, so disgustingly tried to drag in the concept of shadow directors to tag Mr. Tata and Mr. Soonawala. And then they say Mr. Tata advising in relation to the affairs of the company cannot be construed as conducting the affairs of the company. They further observe that not a single instance in the history of the company or in Tata Group, at least in Cyrus Mistry's tenure, that Mr. Tata's advice has been directly put into action without first placing before the respective board. And of course, they make a very important observation in conclusion on corporate democracy. Saying by virtue of Tata Trust holding 2/3 stake in Tata Sons and Mr. Tata heading the trust, therefore, as the rule of democracy, these companies have to be run at the wish of majority. That is, the trust headed by Mr. Tata. It makes no difference whether they, as in the Tata Trust, opt for affirmative vote or electing majority directors in the company. The result is one and the same. Before that, also on some other matters, that the TTSL acquisition, the Sivasankaran controversy, again, the NCLT has gone completely in favor of Tata Sons. They have debunked all the allegations made by Cyrus Mistry Group. They say for no money has been paid by any of the Tata Group companies for the acquisition of TTSL shares by Siva Group. It cannot be attributed that the company incurred loss by acquisition of shareholding of TTSL by Siva Group company. It further says, as for the TTSL acquisition, it cannot be said as a careless decision taken by management at that time. And, they say on the Sivasankaran allegation, no material has been placed either by the petitioners or by Cyrus Mistry, saying that petitioners moved some action against Mr. Siva for recovery of monies, to which Mr. Tata raised an objection. They say no such material has been praised on record. Basically, Shireen, whatever we've read so far, and there are quite a few points yet to be covered by us, but basically they're saying it is corporate democracy. Each one of the allegations, the NCLT says, each one of these allegations is completely baseless, without any material on record. And I think the point that Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Mohan Parasaran, Ravi Kadam, Mr. Sarkar, Mr. Mukherjee, they kept on repeating for the Tata Group that this is an afterthought petition. What did Mr. Mistry and his family concerns, what did they do for the 50 years that they were shareholders? So basically, I think the thread that you're getting so far is that the NCLT has gone with the Tata Group councils who argued that this is an afterthought petition.
Absolutely. So they're saying that this is an afterthought petition. Lots of scathing remarks coming out there. Arun, stay with us. We have J.N. Gupta, the former SEBI ED. So Arun, what were the questions that you would like to ask Mr. J.N. Gupta?
Mr. Gupta, I think, on a first reading of the judgment, or at least the first half of the 368-page judgment, very clearly, they've gone into each allegation in minute detail and have almost rubbished those allegations, saying that there is no material on record to indicate any mismanagement by Tata Sons or Tata Trust.
So, Arun, as you have very clearly said, that it is a 368-page order. And for me, it will take about a day or two to read the order if I have to do that. But as I say very simply, that I have been maintaining right from day one, that to confirm that it is an afterthought petition, because of the simple reason that all throughout his tenure in the group, Mr. Mistry was in the command, he was in the position of power, and he used to run the company. Now, if I was running the company, then tomorrow I cannot turn and say that, look, although I was there, but I was not in power, nobody used to listen to me, or some decisions were taken by that. Did he at any point of time say anything against the present practice? Because I would not know what was happening in the board, but I would always go by the record. If he was having any problem, did he put it in writing? And as you rightly pointed out, that there was no material put on record to prove that he did so. So it is a very clear-cut case that, as you rightly said, that it is some sort of a revenge or whatever it may you can call, that after he was removed as a chairperson, then it is some sort of a reverse firing by him on Tata. So I would say very clearly, because I have not gone into detail, but very simply, it proves one point, that there was no material which proves that Mr. Cyrus Mistry, while being in saddle in Tata Group, did object to any of these things which he is objecting after he has been removed.
Yeah. So
all the objections are post-thought.
Yeah. So there are a couple of other points and a couple of key allegations or points raised by the petitioner, the Cyrus Mistry Group, in the petition, on which the NCLT has ruled. And I would just read out that operative part of it, sir. The NCLT observes via a rhetorical question, and I quote them: "Is it the idea of Cyrus Mistry that the majority shareholders should not say anything about the business of the company, wherein the trusts have majority shareholding?" And then they go on to say, there is a fleet of letters from Cyrus Mistry. There is a fleet of letters from Cyrus Mistry asking advice on various issues. When such is the case, can it be held out that Mr. Tata suggesting business idea for the cause of the company is wrong? These are quite important observations, sir.
Yes, so I again would say that, see, I always say that the minority needs to be protected, but minority needs to be protected from what? That is the question. If there is anything wrong, somebody is squeezing minority or somebody is causing some harm to the minority, yes, you protect minority whether it is 1% or 20%. But the question that, or the thing that has to prove, that was majority shareholder doing something which was benefiting the majority shareholder at the cost of minority shareholder. Since no proof has been made that majority shareholder was doing any action to benefit itself at the cost of minority, then there cannot be a minority operation. The idea is very clear that a business is to be run for maximization of the value. And if the maximization of value comes from suggestion from me, you, or shareholder, it is immaterial. Any suggestion is to be evaluated by the board of directors. And if the board of directors finds in their wisdom that suggestion made by any person in the world is for the good of the company and board of directors decides, then you can't hold that person who gave a suggestion responsible for either good or bad. No, it was a board decision. You may acknowledge if that something good becomes very good, then you can acknowledge that person, thank you, you gave the suggestion, we implemented it. But if something goes wrong, you can't put the blame on that person because it was your wisdom that you decided. Or are you admitting that you mortgage your wisdom to some third party? No, that's not the case. So very clearly, you have taken a decision, you have sought advice, you have as a board decided a thing, own up that decision. Don't try to look at somebody, a scapegoat for putting wrong decision on that person's head.